Ever feel like your bedroom is more cluttered than cozy? You're not alone. Over the years, things pile up. Extra pillows, old furniture, sentimental keepsakes. But what if just 4 small changes could turn your space into a peaceful retreat? Clutter isn't just messy, it affects your sleep, stress levels, and even your safety. Imagine waking up in a room that feels calm and refreshing instead of overwhelming. Evelyn, a 72-year-old woman, has lived in the same cozy home for over 30 years. Her bedroom holds memories, framed photos of loved ones, shelves stacked with books she's read and ones she promises to get to, and a collection of blankets and pillows that have somehow multiplied over time. She loves her space, but lately it feels more cluttered than comforting. One evening, as she reaches for her reading glasses, her foot catches the edge of a pile of books beside her bed. She stumbles, heart pounding. Thankfully, she catches herself, but the scare lingers. Looking around, she realizes the once peaceful retreat she cherished has become overcrowded. The chair in the corner is buried under clothes. Her nightstand is overflowing with trinkets, and her closet, well, she stopped opening that without a deep breath first. Evelyn knows it's time for a change, but where does she even start? The idea of decluttering feels overwhelming and every item holds a memory. But then she asks herself, what if my bedroom felt light and open again? What if I could wake up to a space that brings me peace instead of stress? She decides to take the first step. She doesn't have to get rid of everything, just the things that no longer serve her. And as she begins, she realizes something powerful. Decluttering isn't about losing things. It's about making room for what truly matters. If you've ever felt the same way, stick with me because I'm about to share 4 simple things you can remove right now to transform your bedroom. And trust me, the 4th one is something most people overlook. But once you get rid of it, you'll feel an instant difference. Before we dive in, if you find this helpful, tap that like button and subscribe for more practical tips to make life after 60 simpler, safer, and more joyful. Now let's get started. Declutter item number 1. Excess pillows and bedding. Evelyn had never thought much about her bed. After all, it was where she found comfort at the end of the day. But over time, it had become more than just a place to sleep. It was covered with pillows of all shapes and sizes, decorative cushions she never actually used, and extra blankets she kept just in case. One morning, as she made the bed, she realized something. She was spending more time rearranging pillows than actually using them. Not only that, but dust seemed to gather in the creases of unused cushions, making her bedroom feel stuffier than it should. And when she needed to get up at night, navigating around the extra bedding on the floor felt like stepping through an obstacle course. The problem: cluttered, dusty, and potentially dangerous. Having extra pillows and blankets might seem harmless, but for seniors, they can quickly become a nuisance, or even a hazard. Here's why. They collect dust and allergens. Over time, pillows and blankets trap dust, making the air less fresh and potentially worsening allergies. They make your bed feel cluttered. Instead of feeling restful, a bed buried under layers of pillows can feel overwhelming. They can be a tripping hazard. A pile of blankets on the floor or an extra pillow slipping off the bed can cause a fall, something no one wants to risk. Evelyn had always thought she needed all these pillows and blankets to make her bedroom feel cozy. But in reality, they were making things more complicated. It was time for a change. The fix: keep only what you use daily. Evelyn decided to simplify. She asked herself, how many pillows do I actually sleep on? The answer? Just 2. The rest were just taking up space. Here's what she did, and what you can do too. Pick your essentials. Keep only the pillows and blankets you actually use each night. Store seasonal extras. If you have winter blankets or guest pillows, store them neatly in a closet instead of piling them on your bed. Donate what you don't need. Many shelters and charities happily accept gently used pillows and bedding. Once Evelyn removed the excess, she was shocked at the difference. Her bed looked inviting, not overwhelming. The air felt fresher, and she could move around without stepping over a pile of pillows. Best of all, making the bed in the morning became a breeze. No more rearranging unnecessary cushions. Now it's your turn. Take a quick look at your own bed. Be honest, how many pillows do you actually use? And how many are just sitting there gathering dust? Let us know in the comments. Decluttering just one part of your bedroom can make a huge difference. But wait until you see the next item. This one hides in plain sight and takes up way more space than you think. Stay with me because you might be surprised at what it is. Declutter item number 2. Unused furniture and chairs. Evelyn always thought her bedroom felt cozy, but as she looked around with fresh eyes, she started noticing something. Her old armchair in the corner wasn't actually being used the way she had intended. It had become more of a storage unit than a place to sit. Instead of curling up with a book, the chair was buried under a pile of clothes, a few old magazines, and a blanket she hadn't used in months. She sighed, realizing the chair wasn't adding to her space. It was taking away from it. But letting go of furniture isn't as easy as tossing out an old pillow. There's often sentimental value attached, and Evelyn hesitated. That chair had been with her for years, but was it really serving her now? The problem, a space hog that collects dust. Having a comfortable chair in your bedroom can seem like a great idea, maybe for reading, relaxing, or just as extra seating. But in reality, many people never actually use them. Instead, they become a dumping ground for clothes. Instead of putting them away, they end up draped over the chair just for now, but stay there for weeks. Random items, a purse, books, or even a laundry basket that never seems to move. And dust and allergens, unused furniture collects dust, making the bedroom less fresh and inviting. And the worst part, it shrinks the room. The more furniture you have, the smaller and more cramped your space feels. This is especially important for seniors who need open, accessible spaces to move around safely. Evelyn started wondering, would my bedroom feel bigger, fresher, and more peaceful without this chair? The fix: remove what's not serving you. Evelyn made a bold decision. The chair had to go. It wasn't easy, but the results were immediate. With the chair gone, the entire corner of her bedroom felt lighter, cleaner, and more open. If you're holding on to a piece of furniture that you never actually use, ask yourself these questions. Is it functional, or is it just taking up space? Would removing it make your room feel bigger and easier to move around in? Do you really need it, or do you just feel guilty getting rid of it? If you're hesitant, consider repurposing it somewhere else in the home where it might actually get used. Or, like Evelyn, donate it to someone who needs it. The extra space might surprise you. But what about sentimental clutter? Letting go of furniture is one thing, but what about items that carry deep sentimental value, the ones tied to memories and emotions? That's where decluttering gets tricky, and it's exactly what we're tackling next. Stay with me because this next item is something almost every senior struggles with. But once you address it, it will bring a sense of relief you never expected. Declutter item number 3, sentimental clutter on nightstands and dressers. Evelyn sat on the edge of her bed, looking at her dresser. It wasn't just a piece of furniture anymore. It had become a collection of memories. Stacked birthday cards from her grandkids, small trinkets from vacations, a delicate music box from her late husband, and framed photos of loved ones. Each item held a story, a moment she didn't want to forget. But as she looked closer, she realized something. Instead of bringing her peace, The clutter was overwhelming. Dust had gathered around the edges of picture frames, and there was barely enough space to set down a glass of water. It was as if the physical weight of these objects mirrored an emotional weight she hadn't even noticed. Evelyn knew it was time to make a change, not to erase the past, but to create space for the present. The problem? Too many keepsakes, not enough breathing room. Sentimental items are the hardest to declutter because they hold emotional value. For many seniors, these small objects connect them to their past, reminding them of loved ones, special moments, and important milestones. But here's the challenge. Too many keepsakes create clutter, not comfort. Instead of feeling surrounded by love, the mess can make the space feel chaotic. Cluttered surfaces collect dust and make cleaning harder. Nightstands and dressers should feel light and easy to maintain, not stressful to clean. Too many items can make the truly special ones feel lost. When everything is significant, nothing stands out. Evelyn realized that keeping everything out at once wasn't the best way to honor these memories. She needed a new approach. The fix: keep a few meaningful items and rotate the rest. Evelyn decided to take a deep breath and tackle her sentimental clutter with a simple plan. Choose a few special items to keep out. She picked her favorite framed photo, her husband's music box, and one small keepsake from a memorable trip. These stayed on her dresser, where she could see and appreciate them daily. Rotate sentimental items seasonally. Instead of displaying everything at once, she stored her birthday cards in a keepsake box and decided to swap them out now and then. This way, she could enjoy different memories over time without overwhelming her space. Create a dedicated memory box. For the items she wasn't ready to part with, Evelyn found a beautiful wooden box to store them. It kept them safe and accessible, but out of sight until she wanted to revisit them. Once she finished, her bedroom felt lighter, calmer, and more peaceful. The most meaningful items now had the space to stand out, and instead of being buried in clutter, her memories felt even more special. Now it's your turn. What's one sentimental item in your bedroom you're struggling to let go of? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. And now, get ready. Because the fourth and final declutter item is something that surprises almost everyone. It's one of the biggest space stealers in a senior's bedroom, and you might not even realize just how much it's affecting your peace of mind. Declutter item number 4, old clothes and shoes you never wear. Evelyn stood in front of her closet, staring at decades of clothing packed tightly onto hangers. There were dresses she hadn't worn since the 80s, shoes collecting dust on the floor, and jackets so old they still had shoulder pads. Some clothes no longer fit, while others simply didn't match her lifestyle anymore. Yet, every time she tried to clear things out, she hesitated. What if I need this someday, she thought. Or I used to love this dress, maybe I'll wear it again. Sound familiar? You're not alone. The problem: overstuffed closets with clothes that no longer fit or get worn. Many seniors hold on to clothing for emotional reasons, but a cluttered closet can make getting dressed stressful instead of simple. Here's why it's time to let go. Too many clothes create decision fatigue. Mornings should be easy, but when you have to sift through piles of old, unworn items, picking an outfit becomes overwhelming. Cluttered closets waste space. Keeping things you never wear takes up valuable room for the things you actually love and use. Shoes and clothes deteriorate over time. Fabrics fade, elastic wears out, and shoes dry rot if they're not worn regularly. Evelyn decided it was time to break free from the clutter, and she had a simple plan. The fix: use the 1-year rule. If you haven't worn it, let it go. Evelyn grabbed a donation box and started sorting. The 1-year rule. If she hadn't worn an item in the past year, it went in the donate pile. No exceptions. If it didn't fit, it had to go. Keeping clothes for a someday that might never come only made her closet feel crowded. She ditched anything uncomfortable. Clothes should make you feel good. If it was itchy, too tight, or didn't suit her anymore, she let it go. Then she spotted them. A pair of shoes from the 90s covered in dust tucked away in the back corner of her closet. She picked them up, laughed and said, "What was I even thinking?" Evelyn finally let them go, and with every piece she removed, her closet felt lighter, fresher and more practical. Now it's your turn. Take a look at your closet. What's one piece of clothing or pair of shoes you know you'll never wear again? Let us know in the comments. Evelyn stood in the doorway of her newly decluttered bedroom and took a deep breath. No more piles of clothes, no more overstuffed nightstands, no more tripping hazards. Instead, her space felt open, peaceful, and truly hers. She could finally wake up in the morning without feeling overwhelmed. The air felt fresher, the room felt lighter, and at night she could relax without clutter crowding her mind. The transformation: a room that feels like a retreat. Her bed was simple and inviting, with only the pillows and blankets she actually used. No more unused furniture collecting dust. She had space to move freely. Her nightstand held just a lamp, a book, and one cherished photo, instead of a pile of old keepsakes. Her closet contained only the clothes she truly loved, making getting dressed effortless. She smiled, knowing that every item in her room now had a purpose. Imagine this for yourself. What if you could wake up in a clutter-free space? Less stress, better sleep, a bedroom that feels like a true retreat. It's possible, and it starts with just one step at a time. Which item will you declutter first? Share in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs a bedroom